Welcome to Spacecraft Guide, the channel that goes over the most iconic spacecraft in the world. In this issue of Spacecraft Guide, I am continue to show you how to fly the space shuttle and how it flies in outer space, and give you a chance to win a book whose text has been in outer space. But before we do that, we're going to continue our work on the reaction control system, and from that we're going to work on switches that give the fuel directly to the jets, and those are going to be the forward reaction control system main isolation switches. And when you click on them, it takes you to the reaction control manifold isolation switch. And if you look at the switches, we're talking about the ones at the bottom here. And what these switches do is that they control a pair of valves, one fuel and one oxidizer. That's going to be very important, which allow propellant to flow to the jets on the corresponding manifold. So that's the fuel manifold and the oxidizer manifold. When the valves are between the tank isolation valves and the forward RCS, or reaction control system, jets. So here are the switches, and you see this has one line coming down, but this is kind of deceptive because that one line, it has a fuel line and an oxidizer line, a pressured line. They have not been continued. What happens is you open this switch, and then from the manifold that it gets it from, it's going to control or put fuel to these jets here, the F1 left, F1 up, F1 down, and F1 forward. So those are all ones in the forward, and your left, up, down, or down and forward. So that's all in this one switch. And you can see here they have this one switch does forward to right, forward to up, forward to down, and forward to forward. So this is the panel that it's going to be on, which is the forward nose of the shuttle. This is the jet, and this is the jet number, which is number 2, and this is the direction, all with this one switch. And you can see it's also here on for forward 3, forward 4, and forward 5. So that's all the jets here. And what they're doing is there is a manifold up here. And this manifold on top, as we look through the switches, before, if you've done the other, if you watch the other episodes, there are 2 lines with this one. So there is, think of it as fuel 1 and oxidizer 1. That's what this switch controls. So that is what this switch here does for the space shuttle. It actually moves the fuel and oxidizer to the jet. Now, that is all for our YouTube people. For our Patreon subscribers, we're going to go a little bit deeper into schematics, and also for our paying Patreon subscribers, we're going to go deeper into these jets. And then finally, if you stay till the end, you'll see how you can find a book that has been put, whose text has been put into outer space and now is on sale on Amazon. I'm going to show you about that right after I get done with this portion of the video. So if you are a paying or free subscriber, doesn't cost you anything, and you click on schematics, and this is the book, Flying the Space Shuttle, A Pilot's Guide to Orbital Flight, Digital Autopilots, and Spacecraft Navigation. Now, this book is actually, the text itself has been sent into outer space as part of a documented test of electronic information integrity in the space environment. And this is the original source manuscript whose text was intentionally selected, prepared, and transmitted or transported
beyond Earth's atmosphere as part of a documented space flight data integrity experiment. So you can actually check out this book here and see it. You can read a sample. If you come down here, read a sample. This will be what you see. So you can actually go through. What I have in here is the first chapter, and it is going to explain what the instruments are on the space shuttle and tell you what each component is. Now, the first chapter goes over very quick summary of what the instrument is. If you go into the book further, you can see on the chapters here that you go into the parts, the aerometers, the rate indicator, all of that you will be able to look at in the book. But right up to here, you get to display on, or you get to view on the Amazon site, and the text that we put onto the spacecraft and launch goes all the way down to chapter 4. That's as much information as I could squeeze into my space that I was allowed to into the satellite or into the rocket that went into outer space. And this is my certificate that tells it that it went into flight. Now, on October 27th is when I loaded it onto the rocket, and it went up into space later in November. And one of the great things down here is if you scan it with your computer, you can see the text that was actually sent into outer space, and it will be identical to the book, except there might, there is in the text, it says test flying. It's my first book in space test flying the space shuttle. Now, the reason I did that is to document. So, to the author's knowledge, this marks the first publicly documented case in which the original manuscript of an Amazon Kindle ebook served as the primary text source for a recorded outer space transportation prior to its publication. Well, this was the source document, so this is before the publication of the next book that I'll have out. This is the original source document. And again, right here, if you click on read a sample, you can actually look and see the contents of the book even before you buy it. And it goes over chapter 1, the primary flight display, which is basically an overview of what the astronauts see when they're flying the shuttle. And it's pretty similar to what they fly on SpaceX or the Artemis rocket that goes into outer space that is going to go to the moon coming up in February of 2026. So if you want to see that, you can come down here, or you can see and read about those instruments here.